Hello everybody, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Thursday. I checked my watch just tells me it's 9 a.m. No, I'm not looking at you. Happy 9 a.m. For me, it's probably not 9 a.m. for you unless you're on West Coast time. Hello. Welcome back. Don't mind me, what was I doing? I get terribly distracted. I think I was vendoring my old pants because I had accidentally put them on during raid when I had new pants from my vault. I got 447 tier legs from my vault on my preservation evoker, but I have a feeling that perhaps I was not wearing them during raid last night. So there's that. It's afternoon. Oh dear. Hello there. Got work in an hour and I'm bucking it through neck for the 25 raid bosses. You got this. Minutes ago I got called to chaos from Time Walking Quest. Oh, nice. That's a good get. That'll keep you going. Kitty, you want to come up? Yeah, I can't get that in any characters that need it. Those things do not drop. Hi, sweetie. How you doing? Happy Thursday. Hi. Good morning. Nice, kitty. All right. How many ults do I have, actually? 1, 2, 3. This is my priest. My other priest. I do have a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 current 70s. This one we'll probably try again at some point today. We're aiming for 14. We're trying to get 14 70s today. And then we'll have some time at some point to work on Anthus. But for now, Nightflame. Allison has a nice mog. I thank you. It wasn't originally designed with those shoulders in mind, but the shoulders are so good that how can you not wear them when you've got them? Kitty, you're just so cute. I'm really happy that you'd like to sit here sometimes. Yeah. She doesn't usually sit there if I'm raiding, but she'll hang out for a bit if I'm streaming. And then sometimes if I'm just at my desk doing like errands or something, like ordering groceries or email or whatever, she'll just be like, hey, Mom, what are we doing? Can I help? Hi. He's so cute. Posing so nicely. Do you think the BlizzCon Yeti outfit will ever come back? On one hand, historically speaking, BlizzCon goods, I think, generally have not come back. But on the other hand, they put all kinds of stuff in the trading post. So I would say not say never, but I also wouldn't get your hopes up too much. I was gonna slam in like an end game Demon Hunter tanking build because I'm only a couple talent points off, so it can't be that big of a deal. Mythic plus talent builds. Because I've made this build up. I've invented this one and it can't possibly be any good. So per dungeon, we're not too worried about that. You can, for all dungeons, defensive build if you need extra defensiveness. You'll be trading upwards of 30% damage played properly. Oh, I'm not playing anything properly. Here, give me defensive build. And then I can just mega pull these time walking dungeons and it'll be fine. Import. And by mega pull, I'm going to have to work on my mega pulling. I think what I need to do is just turn on my auto run and leave it there. And then just jump every once in a while and then people will keep up. My name is Defensive Dungeons. That's not my name. My mother doesn't call me that. There we go. Love your cat, by the way. Thank you. Wild hair appears. Short hair is new. Let me say it looks fabulous. Why, thank you. I find it especially fabulous that I can dry it with a towel and then it's like dry. It's just like you shower in the morning and it's not an operation. Not that it was an operation before, but I used to just wear a shower cap and keep it dry, and it's nice being able to just like really get in there after a run and still have time to make it to stream. Did I get any new buttons? Oh, they've given me Soul Carver. All right, fine. Fine. Do I still have Fellblade? Does it just need like a target? I just want to make sure I'm not wasting any PvP talents. Yeah, we don't need that. Let's put Soul Carver. It's a 1 minute cooldown. Well, it's not like I press any of my cooldowns. Send me in. Time walking dungeon. Warlords of Draenor. He is level 66 and 73%. I'm aiming to get him to 70 today. And we're just all gonna do our best. Hi, defensive. Did you sleep well? Yeah. Well, yeah. I was a little noisy because I had the window open and the fan running, but I had to because it was so warm and then it got nice and cool in there, which was good. It's supposed to get up to 26 today, which is not super hot, but it's pretty nice out. Might get a little warm in here. We might have to, well, I don't know. I really want to, I need to have a good day today because tomorrow is a very big day for me with a capital V, B, and D. Very big day. I have stream in the morning. And then, of course, I have to make a news video for Saturday. But I'm also having dinner with my mother, and I promised I would bring a dessert, and I want to bake a dessert, and I don't know what I'm making yet. And also, like, sometimes these things take time. So I have, I need to figure that out. I have an idea, but what I need to do is I just need to look it up to find out if it's feasible and if I have everything for it. Because if I need to go shopping, I need to know that now. But I think I have it. I have, like, enough general baking goods that I can probably come up with something. Warlock level 46, on to Mistweaver. Nice. One word. Entomins. Entomins. I don't know what they make. My instinct is mayonnaise, but that can't possibly be correct. I need more coffee. That's Hellman's. Never mind. Alrighty. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to Nightflame's Wild Ride. I'm going to be pulling things with Glaive Toss, and I'm going to be hitting them with anything, and then we're going to carry on. Because my trouble when I run ahead is that it seems to me that I don't keep aggro. And I guess what I need to do is just accept that that's going to be a somebody else problem. So we're going to grab this one too. And then maybe more. Is my healer zoned in? Yeah, they're moving. They're alive. Warm body. It's good. We'll slam a few of these.
Shockwave. Shockwave. Shockwave.
This should be good for the moment. Oh! I have to target my sigil in this build? That's stinky. I don't like it.
Shockwave.
I don't have that one. If you would come with me, please, sir.
Shockwave.
Grocery store baked goods, cakes, cookies, donuts. I am in somewhat of a pickle, but sometimes grocery stores have like great bakeries, but prepackaged baked goods are just not my thing. They upset me. They're just a pale reminder of what could have been. Denoria, thank you very much for the 7-month resub. You, as a streamer, really reminded me what I loved about WoW even when playing solo. Also got the Ancient Salamander yesterday. Congratulations! Oh, we're doing this one, and then we're going to do this one. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the resub. Talent changed them. I know. I just imported a new build from Wowhead. I figured I would try and, I don't know, use talents I hadn't invented, but so far I don't like these ones as much. Here, I should use Soul Carver. What does it do? Damage, and then makes some fragments, and then makes more fragments. Okay. Alright. Okay. And then that'll do. I just want to make sure that I'm going fast enough for everybody.
Shockwave.
Got my roster druid up to 70 yesterday during time walking. Spent some time gearing up. Did 2 wings of Elefar today as a healer. Never thought I would touch healer, but I've enjoyed it so far. Nice. I'm kind of feeling the need, well, needs a strong word. I'm feeling the itch to gear up an alt healer as well. I have a main healing. Healing is super fun. But I think it's because I've been like reading posts or hearing in chat or something about how healers are like an endangered species right now, and that's not my experience, but my experience is a teeny tiny bubble where I am the healer, so I don't know. I like the idea that I could just like have an alt. And also, it's been so fast to gear up alts with the new upgrade system. My Shadow Priest that I've been playing is up to 30, 28, 30, something like that, after 2 weeks, which I'm really pleased with. Okay, so we're gonna go whoop. And yeah, it just sounds like it would be a fun thing to play, at least to the level that I played other alts. Because, you know, we did the Hunter. I did the other Shadow Priest. I did Inksy for a bit. I feel like you can put 2 weeks into an alt and get a decent gear and have a nice time and decide whether or not it feels fun to play. Plus, I want to see how fast the queue times are for stuff. I want to see what kind of keys I can scam my way into, basically. If healers are really so rare, then how scuffed can I be and still get invited to things? This is what I want to know. You guys can come with me. That would be great. Have I lost my group? No, they're coming. They're coming. Sometimes people get a bit disoriented at the backtrack that you do in here.
Shockwave.
Glad I don't play WoW anymore. I'm glad you're happy.
Shockwave.
Inspired to do healing from watching your streams. It is hard to find them. Healers never even existed. How could they die? Best course of action for gearing is press 70. Do things change in the next patch? I'm not 100% sure whether things change in the next patch, which is why, well, one of the reasons why I've kind of held off making a video. What I have been doing, and it kind of depends on how brave you are in terms of jumping into content under geared, because obviously the best thing to do is to get like carried through something really hard. But for doing it in a propelled and reasonable way where you are pulling your weight at every step along the way, I start with Researchers Under Fire and the Frank Assault, and then that gets me enough to get into LFR. And then from LFR, and then after that, I usually start doing low keys, kind of like 5s and below, and then just start like pushing up that way. Usually within the first week, I have enough gear to kind of get into like a normal pug. I don't upgrade anything until I get veteran gear. Veteran gear I will start upgrading with Drake's Crest and Flightstones. And then you start getting champion gear from things like the raid. You can get champion gear from rank 4 Researchers Under Fire. You can get champion gear from a high enough key, although I think that takes a little bit. And then you start cranking that with Crest and Flightstones. But my very first steps are to go into the Zerlite Caverns, pick up the Loam Rep Weekly, and then go get into a rank 4, basically get into a Researchers Under Fire group. They start at half past the hour every hour, and then doing it in a group will get you a rank 4 bag to get you a decent piece. World Boss is also good. World Boss can drop champion gear if it drops anything for you. And then if you really want to be extra right now, you can do the Time Walking Weekly. You can do 5 Time Walking dungeons to get a random normal raid piece. That'll be champion tier. Plus it could be like a trinket or something sick. And fighting is its own reward. Do 5 random heroic dungeons, get a champion piece. That'll keep you busy. I think that's why I'm playing so much WoW right now, is just because it's fun gearing alt, but you can, if you want to really gear an alt and you are in the mood to play it, there is so much that you can do that can get you power upgrades. It's wild. And then you're always going to need more Flightstones and more crests and stuff, so there's, you know, like, well, why not do a few more keys? Why? Maybe I should try to get back into that normal raid, etc. Blizzard needs to solve the healer issue. I imagine it's tough. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about when yesterday you asked me, I forget what, but it was something along those lines, and I said I would accept bribery. And that remains true. I would accept bribery. But it occurred to me that maybe from a game design standpoint, bribing people to do something that they don't want to do is maybe a cheap tactic that is not best for the long-term health of the game. Not that I'm a game dev, but, you know, if there's a way to make healing... And I think the hard part of it is that part of it... I think that healing is really fun right now. Just my own personal opinion, but from the healing that I've played, in keys and in raid, I think it's really fun. I think that it's not too punishing, and I think that it has a lot of room for excellence, and I like that we're actually healing as opposed to just DPSing while occasionally providing a buff. However, that's not everybody's experience, and I think a lot of what is making healing difficult for people to get into and difficult to do is these... I think maybe there are either community expectations or just people tending to play healers, or there's like social problems. And social problems are really hard for game devs to fix. Not impossible, but it's not as easy as, oh, you know, buff healers, right? Like, I think that trying to make it fun and engaging and valuable, and not so that, you know, people just don't bring them, while still, it's just a hard problem to fix. So I do think something probably should be done, but I'm one of those potatoes that doesn't actually know what they should do. Because I'm happy. I'm a healer. I'm having a great time. I'm like a mid-range healer, right? So I'm healing normal and heroic raid. I'm healing keys up to like 19 and halves. I'm healing 20s. We're not timing them. And I'm having a wonderful time with my friends, and then when I'm pugging keys, I'm kind of pugging lower keys, and I'm having a great time doing that too. I found people have been actually very nice in pugged keys, but I know that's not everybody's experience. That's just, I've just been lucky or something. I don't know. I mean, people aren't always wildly social. You're not gonna make like a new best friend, but people are also like busy, you know. There's only so much time for conversation about the hot pockets that you're making when you are in the middle of a time key.
AOE incoming.
My 4th set and all I've done is Mythic Plus. Yeah, with Catalyst right now, you can get your tier really easily, which is super nice because it's a big, big power bump. Oh, this has been a nice fast dungeon. I appreciate that. Most people don't want to do anything that takes effort. I mean, that's a take. I think people don't want to be abused. And that's fair. And you're always going to have problems in these multiplayer games, especially when the content gets more challenging, of matching skill levels and expectations so that people, you know, aren't being asked to do things that they're not up to. And people aren't expecting people to do things that they didn't sign up for, you know, like... Or, you know, there's also a little bit, and I don't know how much of this is going on, because I haven't seen a whole lot of it. It's been a while since I've been blamed for something that somebody else did, but it does happen occasionally. That one time in LFR. I wasn't even healing. Doesn't matter. I've moved on. I'm over it. What am I trying to say? Oh, yeah, there's probably a little bit of people making mistakes and either not having enough awareness to understand that it was their mistake, or being too embarrassed to admit that it was their mistake and then wanting something to blame instead. And that's just kind of like one of the uglier parts of humans. People just do that.
Dispel boss.
Did I get the boss? I did get the boss. Well, someone got the boss. I should use meta. I should also use Flame Brand and maybe the soul carving thing. Oh, maybe I should spend some of these, spend some of this
4,
fury.
3, 2, 1.
Got so nervous someone's gonna die. I have no idea what I was doing.
Interrupt.
I wonder what I can say that would help, because my first instinct is, you know, it's not that scary, but
Interrupt.
I'm lucky that I just have some experience with it. Also, part of my experience is just experience healing, so that I have a pretty reasonable grip on what my character can do. But the other part of it is that I have enough experience healing to have accepted the fact that sometimes people are gonna die. I started to feel a lot better as a healer once I got a feel for when it wasn't my fault. Because then no matter how much somebody says it's my fault, I can just, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna pick fights in chat, but I can be like, okay, alrighty then. And I'm just trying to finish the key. I'm just trying to play the game and have a nice time, so it doesn't have to get that serious. I want my... It's the red one, right? Red one in the tree. Soul Cleave heals me more. Soul Cleave applies frailty to your primary target. Fodder to the Flame. I don't want Fodder to the Flame. I'm not taking it again. It was annoying. I got better things to do. I know many healers that make DPS ults, not many DPS that make healer ults. That is a good point, actually. Don't want to gear her up too fast because I want the LFR tier set colors. I would need a tutor. And holding. Best level a brand new character all over again instead of the higher level characters you have. I don't think it's best, but it is what I do. You can certainly take a high level character, and what I would do is I would just take everything off their bar and like look up a talent build, read a bit about it, put everything on your bar out of your spellbook one at a time, and spend a few minutes at a training dummy. And all of that is going to be faster than leveling from scratch. Oh, good lord, we're in Grimrail Depot. All of that is going to be faster than leveling from scratch. All right, we're not going to pull crazy big here. We're going to pull a little big, but these guys have stuns. So we want to be a little tiny bit conservative. There are dungeons to mega pull, and my thinking is this isn't one of them. Alright. See you later, kitty cat. Oh, I have Chaos Nova. I should use it, hey? I did something. Certified heroic DH tank has arrived in chat. Hello. I'm bringing shame upon your people, and I'm not exactly apologizing for it. I'm just notifying the committee. Now you know about the grenade, you won't die. That's quite possible, actually. I do know what to look for now. It is actually a thing on the ground. What is it, honey bear? I'm just gonna tank this guy. I'm not too bothered about what that guy's doing. Stungeon, yeah, it's just the tuning of it is just not quite right. Something's not quite right. It does make it fun. Say what you will about this being a mess. It has given me memories.
AOE incoming.
Okay. Can you come hit me? I don't even know if I tank you properly. Nightflame never apologizes. He doesn't, yeah, no, he doesn't apologize. He just notifies the governing bodies of his actions. I have done this. I'm not sorry. Okie dokie. Oh, I'm disoriented. What's happened? Oh, I jumped behind the stairs. That freaked me out. When you're not gameplay disoriented, you're genuinely disoriented. Okay. Excuse me, if you could come with me, please. Thank you. Maybe I should, like, backpedal. Okay. Hello, Hazel and chat. Hello, Saga. How are you doing today? Nightflame. He's level 67 and a bit, but we've queued into Grimrail, so there's a possibility. Well, you know what? I'm tanking, though, so I can make sure that my healer is with me before I can make sure my healer is with me before we pull the boss. And I can also try and pull this mid pull's not huge. Danger.
Shockwave.
That's a frontal. I like telling the people what I'm gonna do so that they don't just go running ahead and pulling and they know I'm doing this on purpose. Alright, healer's coming. So the grenadier must be the person with the grenades. That would just make sense, right?
Watch your feet.
I was wondering if it's a grenadier, or a grenadier, or a grenadier. I think it's probably the first one. I don't know. This is what happens when you learn all your words from reading them. Okay. Let's pull right in here. Now
Shockwave.
So that frontal's fine. That's not a problem. Is it a boomer, maybe? So top down, looking at the floor, That.
Watch your feet.
Well, basically anything, actually.
Watch your feet. Shockwave. Watch your feet.
I'm not worried about the little flame breathies. We just do not want that.
Shockwave.
That will absolutely smoke people. Hey, look at that! Alright. Everyone in together? Because this door closes kinda quick. Okay. Grenadine. Don't think anyone confuses my name for theirs. You know, that is peculiar.
Phase 2.
He survived the tank buster. I must have. I don't know the first thing about my talents. I don't think I'm realistically going to tank with this guy at endgame. I could see a world where I set up a tank to do, like, just mess around in low keys or whatever, but I don't think it would be a Vengeance DH. I think that if I was going to pick a tank, I would either do Barnacles as a Bear Druid or like a prop pally. Like maybe Anthus could pick up a shield and do a little bit of protection one day. Prop pally's always fun. More likely be a bear. Yeah, Death Knight and Demon Hunter, they're just
Shockwave.
they're just not my thing. They're too self-healing focused. I know Paladins self-heal too, but I just want to feel like I'm wearing a shield, or like in the case of a bear, like a lot of fur. Thick fur. I don't know why I feel like fur should be so defensive, but I do feel like if I punched a bear, it would be more angry than upset. more angry than hurt, I guess I should say. I guess I should like pick things up. you know, part of my job as a tank. Oh, I don't like those. We're gonna, yeah, move out of that.
Phase 3.
Let's take this down to your level.
Sometimes I feel, oh my gosh, we phased it. We're actually gonna finish this dungeon. I don't know what I was gonna say. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okie dokie. Oh, I got transmite. Watch out for any horse bosses. Are there any horse bosses in this game? Now that you mention it. At what point have we... I mean, there's bosses that drop horses. I cannot res. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. There's bosses that drop horses. To each their own. Centaurs? Yeah. DH tank myself, you're doing great. Aw, thanks. Mildly panicky with DK tanks in the group. The thing with a good DK tank or a good Nightflame, I have become the class now. A good DK tank or a good DH tank, you can totally, as a healer, just enable power bars and track their fury or their runic power. And you can treat that as an extension of their health bar, because a good one will always spend down their fury or runic power to heal themselves before they actually die. So back when I used to stress more about such things, I did that. I just don't care anymore. I just have faith that everything's going to work out. I love him standing like he's going to lead this group. He's going to go somewhere and do something. I'm going to big pull this, I think. We're all here. Let's go. Woohoo! Give me everything. We'll silent sigil, we'll mouth beam, it'll be great. Do those loaders just keep coming, or there's like a set amount of them? There must be a set amount. Just me out, enable everything. Sometimes people are just gonna die. I've had to make my peace with that a bit as a preservation evoker, because you can heal your tanks. And you can do pretty big heals on them, but what you can't do is do it in an emergency. You are not a holy priest who can just press like a single blue instant cast button and just zap them up to full. You can time dilation to buy yourself some time. You can, oh, you're gonna want to move. You can, well, maybe not, maybe, oh, you're in an icy. You can time dilation to buy yourself some time. You can, I don't know, tip the scales to make like a spirit bloom insta. But short of your cooldowns, you can help people, but not in a hurry. You need some time to make it happen. So I've come to accept that my tanks are just gonna have to, and they're pretty tanky. Tanks are like really strong. They can, generally speaking, oh, somebody got a boar soul, keep themselves up. Every time I'm in Grimroll, I cringe. It always goes sideways for me. It seems to be by far the worst time walking dungeon you can get right now. Anything else is not a problem. But Grimrail, I mean, it was fine. We did complete it just now, but Grimrail is messy. 60 to 70 with the experience buff in time walking, about 2.5 hours if you get back-to-back queues. Maybe 3. DK should pretty much always have runic power now. How's PvP these days? I don't know, I've been lazy. I have not been solo shuffling. Oh, time walking? Oh. I saw this. If this DPS fails, then I will, yeah, I will grab. Yes. Okay. Yes. 1 sec. Then I leave the queue. And I'm not in guild, am I? No, I'm not in guild. Iron Doc's not in the rotation? Have not seen it. What's the least enjoyable time walking X-Pack? What is the least enjoyable time walking X-Pack? I mean, I'm really sick of Mop, but that's not because they're bad. It's because I did so many of them last time time walking was up. Kata? Maybe, yeah. What else is there? Oh, I don't really like Legion. But again, it's not because they're bad dungeons. It's just because I'm personally tired of them. Yeah, these dungeons are about to get real fast. Don't like Legion. Why? Because the dungeons. I will not... I have no anticipation that I will be able to keep any amount of aggro off of Flabby. And I think this is actually like a carbon rite of passage for our guild. Like, all tanks must come to realize that sometimes Flabby's getting punched. So, you know, the sooner I come to this conclusion, the better. Don't worry, I'm Ellie. I'm worried. I have concerns. Oh, I'm not that worried. I have academic concerns. Practically, I'm just... Oh, I'm finished my coffee. Hi, Hazel. Hi, chat. Hello. How you doing? Here, I should make sure we have a damage meter on so you guys can see this carnage. Actually, that Warlock was cranking pretty good. You're about to see something special, though. Isn't Flabby Q is all 3 rolls at once? He got a time turner from Blizzard. He got a special permissions to... they give him Q priority because he's just the shining light of the DPS. Alrighty. Skyreach. You know, Skyreach doesn't bother me as much as Grimrail. I put an exclamation after my hi. That's the coffee kicking in. Hi! I'm Nightflame. I'll be your tank today. If you are unhappy with the speed of this tanking, please notify me and I'll take it into consideration. Please do not start the boss fight until everybody has their arms and legs inside of the room. The wind part. I'm gonna save. What I've learned is that I'm gonna save my whatchamacallit, my leap. I'm gonna save at least 1, if not 2 charges of leap for holy moly. So the Warlock that I said was cranking in the last group, who was in fact doing very good damage, was doing like 2k, 2.5k. Oh man. My job here is just to group as much stuff up as I can and try not to die. Call 1-800-TANK, please, to review. People seem to not know the bird boss. They either don't know or they don't care. I found the phoenixes don't really come into it yet. It's just that the hiding during the quills is the thing. I want to make sure that the hunter, are you coming? You coming, bud? You making it? I just don't want to lock anybody out. I hate getting locked out of boss rooms. All right.
I will slice the flesh from your bones.
That is indeed literally how you tank. How's Flabby hitting like a truck? He has a time walking set, I'm sure. He's also Flabby. He always does that. Hey, I got the achievement. But he's collected a set of gear that is specifically designed to scale very well in time walking. So that he can do kind of bananas damage. They don't care. I was the only one to hide this morning. I mean, if you can live through it, then it makes more sense to not hide. It's just, it's kind of a lot of damage. Is this a boss? I always forget if this is a boss. Oh, this is a boss. That's right. Doesn't have time to get the whole rotation off. His damage appears to be largely, right now at this moment, Lightning Bolt with a little bit of Earth Shock. On AoE packs, I'm pretty sure it's just Chain Lightning. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how it works. I'm just pleased and impressed. As I always say. Alrighty. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna get my health to 70 real quick. Cause we're almost. Oh no, we're not almost done. We have to do bird boss, and then we have to do here. I'm just gonna demon scales, and I'm gonna like chuck this, and I'm gonna chuck one of these, and then I'm gonna taunt this guy, and I'm gonna line of sight it over here, And yeah, chain lightning overload. You just know it does work. Maybe it's magic. Everything that I don't understand is just magic. You know what's magic to me? City water supplies. How do they get, and this isn't a real question, I'm sure it's a long answer. How do they get water? Where, from into every person, every unit, every home, and then it's like, it comes from somewhere, and then it's like, and then it goes somewhere. How, that's magic. You know, you turn on tap, water comes out. Somebody from 1,000 years ago would be flabbergasted at that. And I don't think we appreciate it enough. I got some gloves. I got some glovies for my fingies. There we go. That is how Nightflame talks. Infrastructure. Urban engineering, actually fascinating. Alright, I got 2 leaps and I'm saving them for when I get to the middle. Well, I pretty much only need 1 to get through the middle thing. Lots of pipes. Whoa. Yeah, it's this stuff. Not that it's going to save me much time, because I'm just going to sit at the top here and wait. I hate this part of the dungeon. Oh, it's flabby, okay. Okie dokie. Slow clothy, I struggle. It's, whenever I'm playing a priest, and I think that's what you play too, right? Aren't you on a Shadow Priest? It's just like Angelic Feather. At least now we can have Angelic Feather and Body and Soul. Are they max level as well? Yeah, he's max level. If you want his... Well, I don't know what he's wearing. What are you wearing? I don't think there is a link. He's got stuff. He's got a time walking, or pardon me, a Mop legendary cloak on. He's got a Heart of Azeroth on. He's got a triple socketed Grand Magister's staff. He got a new Unblinking Gaze of Seath. He's got, that's Hellfire Citadel. This is from Kazakh. It's a chipped soul prism. It's got a lot of secondaries on it. He's got some crafted rings. Not so much with the Azerite gear anymore. I think he still has an Azerite helmet. And then, or not Azerite. That's Raid Finder. Azerite Raid Finder. And I love the, I don't know, stuff. The Time Walking Discord has links and spreadsheets and stuff with info about the gear that a specific class or spec would wear to put together a Time Walking set. It's all pretty interesting. If I ever get bored of leveling alts, I will look into it at some point. Not that I can't be as good as Flappy because I'm never gonna have a Mop legendary cloak, but don't you have Fell Rush or something? I do. It needs a target and it's got kind of a short range. It's a 15-yard range. It's Fell Blade. The Fell Rush is replaced with the Leap, the one that Havoc Demon Hunters have. That one's better, but it's replaced with the Leap. So we're gonna do this. You never get bored of alts. That's so far proven true. I'm already sort of potentially not going to have enough time to get everything to 70 if we include Anthus, but I'm already like, I kind of want some kind of a troll Ardruid. I don't know why it would have to be a troll. Like, what's the point of having a troll instead of anything else, you know? Why wouldn't I just set up Honeyplum and gear her? Grease the dot from the hunt.
Follow me. We will report to her.
Yeah, reduce the cooldown of my sigils. That would be nice. I have no characters with the cloak. I played through all of Mop, and I never got a legendary cloak. I was the quintessential casual in Mop. I just farmed, and I did pet battles, and I leveled alts, and that's it. I didn't even raid. Saw a video about New York, about them not having enough water when it was first developing. Dino Druid is why you want a troll? Troll Druid, not a control R Druid. My male Draenei Eridar Demon customization for the new Warlock introduction. Where is my talent point that makes me put... I always forget it. I lose it. It's something to do with... sigils. Oh, my spec doesn't go anywhere near it. That's why I don't have that. My spec has completely bypassed that. OG trolls have faster regen. But new trolls have like they have something too. They have an actual on-use regen, I think, don't they? I think they might have a self-heal. Alright, so let's pull that. And then we can pull this. And yeah, these guys too. Xander trolls have a concentration spell that speeds up regen. Oh.
Dispel.
Is it just speeding up natural regen? Because that seems like not that exciting.
Done. As for you, I think it is fitting that one of my tools dispatches the others.
I guess what I want to know is where are the reservoirs in my city? Where are the water towers? Yeah. What if your house is on the top of a hill? What if your house is on the top of a mountain? People build houses up on mountains here. People also have wells too, like that's a thing. And I think that's like a much simpler and more specific pump situation. How do they get water in WoW? Pumps. Yeah, I think it's a channeled self-heal is what regenerating is, I think. I don't know how much use it would be while tanking. But I would be wanting to heal. Hi, honey bear. Welcome back. How you doing, sweetie? Did you know that you're like really nice to cuddle with? You're just really soft and you're just the right amount of squishy. You're gonna be so mad at me when I take you to the vet. It's she's at the age and it's just a good idea. It's about time she gets her annual checkup. I want them to have a look at her teeth and just make sure everything's all good, even though she's been doing well. But she's going to be angry with me because she does not like going to the vet. Maybe she would like it better if we did it more often and if it wasn't always a big thing. Honey bear demands love. Hey, sweetie. Here, let's just go pull something for Flabby. I keep forgetting I have the big, I have the big boob in this party. I can really go for it.
I will coil your souls into darkness.
In the USF, we get water out of the underground aquifer, full of lime and minerals, hard water. I know that we have relatively hard water here. The city water is not as hard, but I know that if you have a well, you need to have a water softener. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of... you're going to have some troubles with it. Hi. Hi. All right. Next philosophical question of magic is why are cats... Why are cats? How come that sometimes they like me? Because that's just really nice of them. You know, cats, I'm just glad I live in the same timeline as them. They didn't have to like me. And it's just really nice of them that they do. Sometimes, hi. I like you too.
Shockwave.
Why are cats? I know, she was very mad this morning. I went out for a run and she said, no. And I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll be back really soon. I don't run very far. I'm just gonna pull everything, and even though it's like all casters, we'll just figure it out.
Shockwave. Shockwave. Shockwave.
Benefit greatly when they live off people. Sometimes. Not with every people. Grandparents softened the well water so much you did leave showers in the summer. I feel like you didn't get all the soap off. Am I running farther than I did before? Maybe a little bit. Oh, you mean like in real life. I thought you meant like while I was tanking. Yeah, I'm pulling a little bit bigger. I'll grab an extra pack here and there. A little tiny bit farther. A little tiny bit farther, but I'm hesitant to extend the run too much because I don't want to be late, and I'm not waking up early enough to dedicate more time to it just yet. But it feels better. I don't feel like when I first started running again, I would go for like my short little run and I would be like exhausted. Like I would need a nap. I would be asleep within like a couple of hours, and I can stay up through the rest of the day now, which is an improvement. You have the data. I do have the data. Am I going faster? A little bit. And I got attached enough to my speed stat that when I'm done the run and I'm just like walking the last little bit to cool down, I like end the workout so it's not technically counting that part because I don't want it to ruin my pace. I don't think we have to do the... Yeah, we're fine, we're fine. But I think there's also like a middle ground for runs for me where I'm not really trying to train for a marathon or even a 5K or anything. I just am trying to get, you know, a little bit of cardio and get my heart rate up and break a sweat and sort of get some extra energy for the day. So I think there's a point where I will be running enough for me and my needs where I don't really need to push it anymore. And my thinking is hopefully that way, maybe I won't achieve like great physical feats or anything, but I might avoid great physical injury if I'm lucky. What I need to do if I want great physical fitness is I need to start running to the pool and then you go for a swim and then you run home. Thought about trying for a 5K eventually. People seem to really get a lot out of that journey. People seem to really appreciate that. I would need to work on it a bit if I was going to run through a whole 5K. I'm sure I could do it, but I would be like dead. It would be ugly. Why am I waiting so long to pull this? I don't know. Sorry, Terrangor. Didn't mean to keep you waiting. Tried to level Adrena through Azurim in style. Abysmal compared to other zones. It's nice if you're trying to get questing transmog though. There's some unique appearances you can only get from out there. I did that on my Draenei Hunter recently with all the things turned on, like going to go do all the quests that I don't usually get to. And it was not very efficient, but I got some appearances. One of my raid mates did a charity 5K before raid yesterday, like after work. I've heard of Couch to 5K. I've heard of that. It sounds cool. In we go. Hello. You want some love? Run 4 miles every 3 days. Kind of incredible, going from not being able to move much. I like the idea when I'm running that I'm getting my body to do something that's a little extra. Not hugely extra, but like a little above and beyond the normal. Because otherwise it feels like I'm in a state of being able to just kind of exist and then it's like slowly degrading over time. So it's nice to feel like you're, and I'm sure this changes as you get older to some extent, but it's nice to feel like you're working on something where your physical capabilities are improving as opposed to degrading, you know? You're not exactly fighting time, but you are at least, it's nice to actually use your body and get a little juice out of it.
Shockwave.
Got an under-desk treadmill. Went from 0 walking to 46 miles per day. Holy moly. If you're good at 5K, it's only like 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. Mine would be somewhere in the range of 35 minutes if I could keep my standard pace. I run at approximately 7 minutes a kilometer, which isn't super fast, but it's fast enough for me. Nice morning, Yug. That's a fast 5K. That's good. That makes me feel a little better.
Shockwave. Interrupt.
How do you guys stay awake in the afternoons? I've decided this is a magic power that I need to cultivate in myself.
Ant coming. Shockwave.
I've been doing pretty well recently, and I've been pretty healthy.
Knocking
I've been
back.
making mostly good choices. I've been making better use of my time. I've been in a better mental state. It's all been great, but I'm still falling asleep in the afternoons. And that's kind of like my one window. Like 1 to 5 is like my one window where if I'm gonna get some like video work done, it would be then. And that's like I'm just unconscious. I'm just asleep. Oh, caffeine, sugar. Love the meds. You sleep well. I do sleep well at night. That's the thing, is I'm sleeping like 8.5 hours of like good solid sleep at night. So I shouldn't need to be sleeping another 3 hours during the day. I don't know if it's just like a habit or if it's just like I've been trying to do like lighter lunches and like not super like carb heavy or like heavy food that's gonna put me down. I usually get like a little bit of exercise, like I'll like walk after lunch, but usually that just makes me sleepy now. Excited for the new patch this week? And if so, what? Am I looking forward to it? I don't know. I'm aware of it. It's a thing. I'm excited to do the Mega Dungeon with my friends, and see what the tuning feels like at launch. I would if I could. It's too bright in the office. Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that I have the chance to sleep, like the fact that I work from home and that I can just kind of like go back to bed. And you could say, well, Hazel, just don't go back to bed. I mean, you're not wrong. Cannot give advice. Trying to do all the things and actually nap more. I just don't sleep. I used to. Didn't feel good after, so I stopped. Yeah, not exactly 3-hour naps. It would be like a 90-minute nap, but it would have like some reading on either side of it. I'm spending too much time reading books during the day. Maybe I just need worse books. I just need to read like something really dry.
Interrupt.
Every time registers nap time to sleep, tries to sleep like 7 hours. What happens if you push through? Are you super groggy sleepy anyway? I have just a brutal time trying to focus. I get really antsy. I get really like agitated. I get cranky. I'm just like, I don't know, miserable.
Interrupt.
And I do have other periods of time in the day where I have like more natural energy. I get like a second wind around 4, and then I'm usually like kind of good until like 8 or 9. And I could try to use that time for working, but that time I'm usually like, you know, maybe not 4, but that's usually a time where I'm kind of making some dinner and I'm going for a walk and I'm spending some social time with loved ones and, you know, relaxing and like hanging out with friends and stuff. And I guess I could cut that out, but it's not like I'm going to do those things during the afternoon instead. Worse books, probably never the answer. If you feel better, still get things done, you're set. I'm not getting enough done though is the problem. I need to get a few more hours of actual doing things into my day. Not like a crazy amount of hours, but you know, a couple more would be good.
Shock dispel.
Could the naps be shrunk to power naps? Maybe. I kind of doubt it. I haven't been able to do that in a long time. You can't get all the things done. I need to get more things done. If I want to be able to afford a house and afford a mortgage and not just rent forever, I need to squeak a couple. Again, not like a crazy amount, but I'm just not working enough. And I want to do more for me and for my goals. You can try LSD. Bunch of water. Go for a slow walk to feel less tired. Yeah, maybe more water. I don't know. Maybe I'll just try and... I think I've just built up like some real inbuilt habits. I think I've just kind of... My body's figured out that if it just like annoys me enough, then I'll put it to bed. So I get like this huge wave of like irritability and feeling awful in the afternoon. And it's like, just take a nap. You'll feel better. You can't get anything done anyways. Just go lay down and read. And maybe I just need to ignore that enough times for it to not be true. Because I'm sure if I worked in like an office and I had like social pressure plus, you know, no place to nap, then I don't know if I would be super productive during the day, but I would probably get more done. I probably wouldn't be unconscious. Second channel is brilliant. Aw, shucks. Support you by watching your main channel and VODs in your second channel. We're getting closer to the 1,000 subs that we need. We have all the watch hours we need to get that channel partnered. We just need another like 180 subs or something like that. Cocaine probably not helping with the mortgage. I do go for afternoon walks. That's my ritual before I go to afternoon bed. I do every day after lunch. Nice walk, see some kitties, say hi to the crows, gone. YouTube link to the VOD channel. Here you go.
2, 1.
Hi, kitty. There's not actually that many cats out in the afternoon. Cats are in the evening. Didn't realize the VOD channel was separate. Subscribe now. Oh, thank you. Oh, level 69. Nice. Okay. Thank the people, and then we get into another one. I'm just so close. I'm so close to having an idea of what I want, and I'm close to being able to actually do it. It's not like I need to make huge lifestyle changes. Once upon a time, when I was like in my early 20s, even mid 20s, I was a barely functional mess. I couldn't really talk to people. I had a hard time working. I had a hard time holding a schedule. Asking me to do something like meal plan or exercise or really do much of anything was kind of a non-starter. I was like a productive kid, and then I burned out hard, and it took me years and years to piece myself back together. And I'm just so close. I've come really far, which I'm proud of, towards being like a regular person. And I don't need to like do all of that all over again. I just need to make a couple more tweaks. And I feel like I've got a pretty realistic idea too. It's not like I want to, you know, crank out 80 hours a week and then make millions of dollars and then live in like a mansion. I thought about that and I decided not to. You know? I just decided that's not worth it. I just need to do a little more, and then I can have the things that are important to me, you know, security and a little space, some space to do some creative things, and just space to enjoy outdoors and animals and family and, you know, life. I want to have cats and walk my dog by the sea and write really dumb stories. And I'm really close, but I need to be a little tiny bit more together. Do you want to go? Do I want to go where? To the sea? To hang on. I'm scrolling up. Do I want to go to what? Got invited to a super spontaneous road trip tomorrow. Oh, I see. This wasn't directed at me. Spontaneous road trip. Yes. If you can make it work, yes, you should go. You will have fun once you're there. You will make memories that you will have for a long time. If you can get it together, you should totally do it. As a 23-year-old in that situation, hearing this gives me hope. And I used to think, especially because most of my problems were self-inflicted. They felt like things that if I just did things differently, then I wouldn't have such a hard time. Obviously, it's not that easy, but it seems that way when you're in the middle of it. And because of that, I always kind of held this idea that I could just overnight wake up and then become a completely different person who did things differently, because I understood why it was that I was, you know, having such a hard time. I knew that my habits weren't helping me. It wasn't a mystery what was going on. It's just hard to change things. And I always figured that one day I was just going to snap and I was going to do it all at once. And I knew that people say that's not really how it works, but I was just convinced that that would be so much more dramatic and fun and exciting and easier than like making small incremental changes over time. But as it turns out, it's small incremental changes over time. Solid 7-hour road trip incoming. When's the last time you went on a spontaneous road trip? Me? Never. Actually, well, it depends on what we define as road trip. I spontaneously drove like 3 hours to go to a cabin with my mom last fall. And for me, that is a road trip. That is a long way for me to go. And I got a flat tire. This is why I don't drive anywhere. Things happen. Driving's too stressful. Yeah, if somebody else is driving, I don't know. I'm just not a road trip person. I don't like spending huge amounts of time in the car. I'm real lucky I don't have a commute. I wouldn't like it. Small incremental changes to reduce nap time then. That's probably true. I think I need to, for the moment, let go of this idea that I'm going to start. It's just that there's a timeline now is a thing. Like, usually I used to be very much like, I will change at my own pace and things will happen in their time. And I will do this as slowly as I need to get it done. But then, I have some really specific financial goals that are really time-based. Because of wanting to get into a mortgage and because of variable income, and basically I need to scrape together an extra X amount of money within the calendar year of 2023 to prove that my income is not in a nosedive so that I can qualify for a mortgage, just because it's like an in-between year. You know, Dragonflight came out last year. Interest in it in general is not quite as high. Plus I hadn't been making a ton of content. Plus, we lost the NZXT sponsorship. Plus, last year was inflated a little bit by that when they were giving away the Harvest Golem pet for 2 gift subs. That did really well for me, which was great, but it's a harder bar to keep up to without it. So, on one hand, yeah, I don't need to make these changes that fast. But on the other hand, it'll have, like, real consequences if I don't do something, and I can't just take forever anymore. I have 6 months and I need to pick it up pretty substantially if I want to achieve this goal. It's not the end of the world if I don't do it. I could, continue renting for an extra year or an extra 2 years. I could, settle for a condo instead of a house. That would save a lot of money and necessitate a smaller mortgage. But those are, it's the difference between me having a place to plant some tomatoes in my in the next 10 years versus just having another balcony again, or like there's actual things that will happen. You didn't die to the grenade. I didn't die to the grenade. I also wasn't looking for the grenade, so I think that's raw luck and not skill.
Shockwave.
Would have hated one of the vacation trips my parents and I did when I was a kid. Homeways in Norway to Greece. 3 years old, barely remember it. Oh, that's a long way to go with a 3-year-old. Holy moly. Ridina, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. Do you want to know what inappropriate pen name for your stories cracked me up just now? I do, yes. Oh, Haley, that sounds great. Is that a mage out TPSing Flabby? Flabby's resto. He swapped to healing because he said that Ellie was boring. But he is once again in front. You can afford thinking about a house? It's, yeah, I'll be vague about the exact numbers, but it is... I'm lucky to be even in a position where I'm looking at it, for sure. Because I'm on Vancouver Island, I'm in BC, and it is a very expensive real estate market, so it's a big dream. But it's a dream I've made some progress on that I'm not ready to let go of yet. You know how your name is Hazelnutty Games? Yeah. I do. Feel the money trickle away every moment I allocate brain cells to it. Yeah. All right. Remember, I'm 12. You have to rent a prison cell for 3K a month. Yeah. I do see what you've done there. I said silly stories, not dirty stories. Unrelated. I see your water bottle. Yeah. I lost it because I brought it with me into the bath because you must stay hydrated while you're bathing. Obviously. And I had like hidden it behind the shower curtain. And then I completely, within like an hour, had forgotten that I had put it there. And I was like getting ready to go for bed, and I always bring my water bottle to my nightstand with me at night. And I was like looking for it, and I was looking in the kitchen, in the bathroom, my office, in the bedroom, and I'm like, where? It's not in any of its normal places. What do you mean? I had hidden it. I found it by pure happenstance this morning. Pick the orange and red. I wanted another one because I wanted a huge one that I could take with me on like big hikes when I need to bring just like major water. And I wanted another iron flask because I like this one so much. And it turns out that you can get them in Canada on Amazon still, but it is a little bit harder to do. It's like a third party that imports them into Canada and then resells them. But I did manage to get one. I did manage to get a hold of it. Coffee is hazelnutty. I think of you when I drink it. It's a good flavor to go with coffee. Hazelnut's delicious with coffee and with chocolate. Sometimes at the same time. Alrighty. How are we doing? We are 2.5 bars off from 70. I have learned better though. I have learned better than to just say, oh, I'll finish that with pet battles. 1 bar, maybe. That's about the worst idea I'm willing to post here, even that with 5 lines of setup. I do appreciate the setup. I think that without it, that would have been dangerous territory. Camelbacks are good for long hikes. Yeah, I'm already wearing, if I'm hiking, I'm wearing the fishing backpack that has like all of my tackle and stuff in it. And I can fit water into that too, but yeah, I would need another back.
Skyreach. I have not been this close to her in many years.
Bought mine from your store?
The Ice Age will be well protected. We can fly no closer.
That's a weirdly specific thing to want to try coffee-wise. Fun fishing lately. I didn't go last week. I got lazy and I stayed home and I did chores. I want to go this week, but it's going to be kind of hard because I'm getting another COVID booster on Sunday, and it just depends on whether or not I get the booster hangover. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm fine. Last time my COVID booster didn't bother me at all, but my flu shot decked me for a day. So I may not go next week either if I need to just like... I should probably just either stay home or do like a smaller trip. Any water bottle with a straw is nice. The straw is a big game changer because it's like a pretty big bottle, so it gets kind of heavy and just unwieldy to tip. And I like having like a water bottle with a lid on it for my desk and just for every day because I tend to spill things. I have limbs, I have arms and legs and hands, and I am rarely in control of any of them. So I have historically, I used to just knock over beverages. I would knock over cups of water, I would knock over cups of juice, I would knock over cups of coffee, and but water especially because I would almost always have water around. And I would just backhand them over on my desk and like ruin keyboards and stuff. And I eventually decided enough is enough. I cannot make my raid wait for me any longer while I go get a towel to sop up the drink that I have, you know, dashed across my surface. It's time to change. So, thus, water bottle. Works great. I've decided that I'm about as careful as I'm ever likely to be. And that's okay. It just means that I don't buy expensive things that are breakable. And I drink out of a water bottle. Don't turn your back on mobs. Yeah, I'm fine. it's Flabby's healing me. It's his problem. Back to work. Take care, all. Take care. Oh, I should take that mob. And by mob, I mean boss. Water bottle or sippy cup. Could have gone either way. I actually had sippy cups that got me into the water bottle. My roommate / raid leader at the time. I had gone out of town, I think to BlizzCon. I think I'd gone either to BlizzCon or maybe I'd gone home for my sister's wedding or something like that. But I came back and my cupboards were filled with my cupboards were filled with sippy cups, like the children's ones with like Paw Patrol and stuff on them. And the idea was that I would stop spilling drinks and then having to take extended breaks from Raid while I mopped up my mess. No, we weren't roommates anymore at the time. We had been roommates, but then I moved out. But they cat sit, that's right. Need one of the hat's old beer cans. When word got out amongst my family that I was getting into fishing, for Christmas, people kept getting me like coolers to use to bring cold drinks out fishing with me, which isn't something that I do. They're great anyways. Like I use one of them for buying groceries in and for carrying like milk and frozen things back from the store. And then I use another one actually. It's like a soft shell cooler that folds, and I use it for fish. Like I'll just pack some ice in it, and then if I catch a fish, I'll just put the fish on ice in that cooler. But it's not like I'm taking beers out to the lake. Warm beverages only. It's just a huge water bottle. Like I'll throw a couple ice cubes in my water bottle. These insulated steel bottles do a really good job of staying cold if you throw some ice in them. But I'm not exactly going to be toting, ice cubes on my hike, like in a cooler to chill, like, pop. Cereal floor. My favorite fish to consume? I mean, I love salmon, but I've never caught a salmon. I caught some fresh rockfish recently this season, and I liked that a lot. That was I did a beer batter. I filleted them and I did a beer batter, and I made some fish and chips, and it was incredible. It was really good. Salmon are very big, yes. Well, they can be very big. They need to be quite big in order for you to legally retain them. They're also a little bit, I don't know if endanger is the right word, but they're in a little bit of trouble. So they're pretty heavily restricted right now in BC because the salmon fisheries are really important and we want to preserve them. Could you catch salmon? Yep. This is one of the hotspots in the world for salmon fishing, but, and I do have a salmon conservation stamp, so if I accidentally hook a salmon, I could potentially keep it if it's the right size and the right type of salmon, et cetera, et cetera. But, I haven't been going specifically salmon fishing because I don't have a boat. And the river salmon fishing is a little bit farther from here, and also even more heavily restricted because salmon in rivers are usually traveling upriver to spawn. So yeah, I could go salmon fishing. I'm kind of saving most of it for like later in my fishing career. Right now, I'm having fun rock fishing from different rocky shores. That's been really I've been getting a kick out of that because I get to just like, hang out by the tide pools and look at all the crabs and then fish. I'm trying to catch a lingcod. Is Fluffy here? Warlock's not, but they're never gonna make it. Salmon's my favorite. Ice cube only from the speakers. Walleye's delicious? I've never heard of a walleye around here. I'm sure there's lots of stuff, but I catch rainbow trout and bass in lakes. There's also, you'll get like little pumpkin seed fish that you can, cute things that you chuck back. I'm 70, woohoo! Congrats, Nightflame. And then in the ocean right now, it's been different types of rockfish. I did catch a cabezon. It was a small cabezon, but I caught a little cabezon. I threw him back, but I caught a small cabezon. And then I am trying to catch a lingcod, which is not actually a cod. It's a type of greenling. But those are big, scary things that are delicious. And I'm working on it. GG's. Alright. So, Nightflame. He is level 70. He is complete. He can just live here. He hasn't even been to Veldraken yet. Norway salmon streams are huge. hefty 20 kilogram salmons. Holy moly. Fiance and his friends fish for sturgeon. You are not a bear fishing salmon upstream. Alright. He's done. I am going to do this one next because this is my last 60-ish character that's not 70. Everything else is either a name placeholder or poor Wormbin over here. Anthus is next after this, but this poor character who did that cursed run, she needs help. I'm going to take a short break, and when I get back, I'm going to try and get her up to 72. I don't think it'll take very long. Alright. A lot of 70s. I think that was my 13th one. I think Nightflame was number 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah. So Hazeline will be 14 if we can finish her off. Anthus can have my number. Good old Wormbin. Slash roll for who heals? Yeah, I slash rolled a 100. You're healing. No, I'm healing. I need you to do damage. Please. I mean, I guess I could do damage, but I don't have a time locking set. It's not going to be nearly as fast. Listen, you can pull whatever, and I will heal you, and the tank will be auxiliary. It'll be basically exactly the thing I was complaining about when I was tanking. All right. We both chose healer. This has never happened before. Where is the troll Ardruid? I know, right? I need to figure out, would she be a troll or a Zandalari troll? Because Zandalari trolls look really cool and I like their racials, but regular troll is where the nostalgia was. Also, Anthus is first in line. I can't abandon Anthus. I need to do some more HPAL before I can get into an Ardruid. I could just like race change Petal Bloom, but I could also just level another character. Barnacles is a bear. Barnacles is not a Resto Druid. Barnacles is a bear druid. OG troll doing the OG starter zone for nostalgia. Poor Canelo stuff. I should only stream for so long today if I want to get some things done. Zandalari trolls get more gold. True. I am trying to be rich, sort of. I have 14k in this character. How did that happen? I must have sent myself some gold for something. Alright. She's level 67. I'm pretty sure she still has plenty of rested, so this should actually be really fast. Last time I tried to do this, we just queued into a Grimrail and got hard stuck, and then I left. So we're just trying again.
Good. We must have arrived before Terangor.
Huh, weird. I do not have
Naomi is working to bolster the defenses against their assault. Follow me. We will report to
Oh, Shift V. That's right. I was trying to turn on nameplates and I just kept powered shielding myself. Anthus mythology is hilarious. Hazeline was my Shadowlands main, that's right. She has portals to places. Look, she's got Hero's Path to all 8 of the Shadowlands dungeons for all the good that's going to do me. You want to go to Tazavesh? Sure, off and away. I think that's the main reason why I didn't delete her even though she has a Hazel name, is because, one, it's a Hazel name that I can actually spell. This is a rogue named Badonkadonk. I'm sorry. One, there's a Hazel name I can spell, and secondly, she has portals. And because she was my Shadowlands main, she's like fully progressed in all the Covenants, so if I wanted to grind out any more Shadowlands cosmetics, this would be the character to do it. How many characters do you have which you sort of remember and are fond of? Like, of the 14, or characters that I used to delete? I guess characters that I have which I sort of remember and are fond of. I like lots of them. I like lots of them. You gotta keep her. What if he learned that global warming made the fish bite less, so he became a tree to fix the ozone layer? I mean, that is pretty good. One Hazel named old after the purge seems good. POA? Including deleted tunes. I don't remember my deleted tunes very much. Every now and then I'll be like, didn't I used to have so-and-so? But then, you know, I know I had 2 dwarven monks. I had a dark iron dwarf and a regular dwarf monk. I know I've had various Draenei paladins. I couldn't tell you their names. I know I had that night elf warrior. I know I had a night elf warrior who I deleted in favor of Crinkle. But, you know, it's alright. Hazel bro. Boy survived. Boy is level 70. He is one of my 14 characters. Boy still lives. Boy is eternal. Boy is immortal. Phew. Night Elf warrior with a snatched waist. Yeah, it was... Evelyn was a female Night Elf for a long time. Can I not? Okay, there we go. Evelyn was a female Night Elf for a long time, and then I was trying to... I think it was they had just allowed you to change your character's body type in the barber shop, and I turned her into a male Night Elf, and I went, oh yeah, this is the stuff. I gave him like an eggplant purple man bun, and it was pretty good. Make an unpurged video where you restore everyone. Don't release it until it's all done. That will drive your chat crazy. This just doesn't sound like me. Some things I don't have a real argument against. They just don't feel like me. You know, restoring alts, wearing wigs, just nothing wrong with it. Just not my thing. Favorite streamer, YouTube WoW creator. Aw, shucks. You guys are, and I know you know this, but you guys are extremely nice. I saw a forum post randomly. I was on the forums looking to see if anyone was complaining about like a technical issue. It was the night where loading screens were like perma 100%ing and nobody could zone in or out of anywhere. And I was on the forums looking for posts about that, and I saw a post asking for key streamers. Somebody wanted to watch Mythic Plus, and somebody was like, well, I don't know about keys, but I like Hazelnutty. And I was like, oh, I don't even stream keys. That's very nice of you. That was an awful few days. It was ugly. And you know what? Myself and my friends, we just waited. We wanted to do keys, I guess badly enough, that we were like, well, one of us can't quite get in. There's 3 people in Voldrak and 1 person's still in a loading screen. 1 person's still character name already taken. Let's just hang out for 45 minutes and talk, and then maybe we can do 1 more key before bed. Like, nowhere did anybody suggest, like, oh, maybe we should, like, give up and do something else with our lives. We must have really badly wanted to do keys because we waited it out, and we did eventually do 1 more. But I saw that, and that was really sweet. It's also very weird to me whenever I see my own name or just like my channel name mentioned anywhere. Like, I'll be looking in like Wowhead News or like, not basically anytime I'm looking at WoW stuff and then I see myself mentioned, it's like a weird fourth wall breaking thing where I don't imagine. I guess when I'm online, I see myself as a viewer and not a participant. You know, like I'm spectating, I'm not involved, and it's like watching a TV show and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, that's me. Why am I there? Even though I know rationally why I'm there, but like it freaks me out a little bit whenever I see myself mentioned, and I usually panic and I click away really quickly. Character had like friend had 6 characters stuck at once. Guild looked bumped him, but there's only like 3 people online. Yeah. Cool to watch you do keys and raids? Reasons you don't stream those? I do sometimes stream keys, especially if my friends are like really into streaming, pushing keys, and they just want to do them even if I'm streaming. But I find that streaming harder content like keys and raids makes me a worse player and a worse streamer. I can't talk to chat the same way that I do during my normal stream. And I'm a perfectly fine player, but I'm not like so sick at this game that my gameplay is like the only reason you would want to watch it. So I feel like my stream suffers whenever I'm doing anything too hard. And you know, we do it now and then, but I also become a worse player. Like I don't perform as well in Raider and Keys. And then the other thing is I don't stream voice whenever I do that because my friend, it's not like a content creator guild or anything. It's not a streamer guild. It's just like my private friends and family guild. And I'm not trying to blast their, you know, people come home from work on a long day. They want to relax. They don't want to think about being on Twitch. Had an alt that didn't go offline for a good 18 hours. Oh, third person phenomenon. Joke's on you, I stopped following every person I followed for gameplay. Yeah, it seemed like a more sustainable strategy to try to convince people to hang out with me as a person anyway, because games come and go and specs come and go and whatever, but like, presumably, unless I just get like really cranky for a really long time, you know, if people are here for me, then that's something that's a little bit more lasting. I also just get kind of annoyed whenever I do anything too hard because you inevitably get drawn into discussions of like, well, this talent's better. No, that talent's better. You should be doing this thing. And I know it's just like, that's what happens on Twitch and you shouldn't get bent out of shape about it. But sometimes it's just like, play your own game, you know? Sometimes I just run out of patience for it. And I find that happens a lot faster if I'm inviting that kind of thing by doing hard content. So I've discovered the wise thing to do is to not do it on stream. Who is the person in chat who has 5 cats? Oh, who was that? There's quite a few people that have multiple cats. I do know. I remember what you're talking about, though. Talent system's complete preference. It's just the way. You know what gets me about discussions like that? It's not that. I mean, maybe it is being disagreed with. I just can't bear being wrong. That's probably true. It's kind of true. But the thing is I think it's just because it's a text medium, right? It's a text medium and people are just writing down their opinion, which is fine. And there's different, you know, situations and different things are right in different times. It's not like anybody's wrong necessarily, but it's hard to present an opinion and account for all of the nuances and the different considerations. And people write things as though it's the absolute truth. They'll say, this thing is bad, this thing is good, you should do this thing. And it bugs me, I guess, and I do this too, so I'm a total hypocrite, but I don't like it when something that is like a very subjective conditional take is presented as absolute fact with like this aura of you're stupid if you don't agree with this. And that's like the internet, so I should really get over it. But I don't know. It's all so conditional and none of it really matters. And I think I also tend to read things in the harshest possible tones. So somebody will say something like, you should try this thing. And I will overreact to that. Like I will read it as though it was said in a tone that was much harsher than it was meant in. But, you know, it's their truth. Do you think WoW is dead? Not for me, it's not. I think it's always possible to find some anxiety about the health and state of WoW because you will always be able to find some people that are eulogizing it. But for me, it's good. I've been playing more than I have been for a long time, and my friends have been also. Oh, Eiley, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Nuance is a thing. And it's like impossible to communicate via chat. So like I'm totally guilty of this too. I will present a thing as though it is absolute fact, and it's definitely not. It's like super conditional. It's hard for anybody to think about like different perspectives aside from their own. It's just difficult for a human brain to comprehend all the different angles somebody might come at things or different considerations people might have that aren't a problem for you. You know, multiply that by a billion times online, and sometimes we don't get along. My workaround whenever I'm being good and I remember to is I try to just preference my statements by like, this is like for me, because that quantifies that this is for my particular situation and that it, you know, it works for me, so it might be good advice for you, but it might not, and take with a grain of salt to whatever degree you find comfortable. XYZ thing is good for me. I have found in my personal experience, etc., etc. I find those are really good quantifiers, or at least I like them. And I find that when other people use them, I have a better time interacting with their statements. MMO that can be hard to get into as a brand new player who's never played it before. Oh dear. I think we're going to get this. Yeah, that's okay. Slow WoW moments, people assume it's dead. Everyone's taking a break. This particular patch, I think, if you are not going to play alts, you can become done much faster than you would have been able to otherwise. And a lot of the mandatory grinds that we had in previous expansions, like your Azerite power and whatever on Earth we were doing in Shadowlands, and your Legion artifact power and whatever, those grinds aren't really built into Dragonflight. So if you don't want to play Dragonflight, you don't feel like manipulated into it as much as you once might have, which means that some people that are having a good time and want to are just going to keep playing alts and doing it again and again. And if you just wanted to like clear the raid and do the content, you can do that much faster, and then you don't have to stick around if you don't want to. I think it's a little bit more optional, and therefore some people are opting out of it, which I think is fine. I don't know if the shareholders will think that, but that's a them problem. Feel a certain way for class spec specific streamers. Nerve-wracking to come back. Don't have a friends or guild to play with. Been doing things my own. There's always other people that are in your boat too. Just because you don't know anybody right now doesn't mean that you won't meet people playing. Do you prefer grindy gameplay where your character gets stronger slower? Do you prefer how it is this patch? I personally, in my own experience, I prefer how it is this patch. I didn't hate the grindy gameplay where my character got stronger slower, but I did find basically what I would do in Legion and Shadowlands and BFA is if there was a grind that just like seemed too annoying, I just wouldn't do it. I would just, especially if it was for like a pretty minor power upgrade, I would just look at what they were asking me to do and I'd be like, ew, no thank you, and then I would like not do all of it. So I find that I'm at less of a disadvantage with that mindset this expansion because none of the things that are being asked of me suck. There's no, at least within my own goals, the framework of my own goals, there's no like, you know, not mob souls. The maw, you know, I'm not needing to do maw dailies. I'm not needing to do Torghast for my legendary, although I actually liked Torghast once we took the legendary out of it. I liked the optional Torghast modes. I'm not needing to do, you know, island expeditions or a bajillion world quests or whatever it may be. They've kind of made it so that you can get what you need from lots of different places, so you can kind of just do the things that are fun for you and get the things that you need for the most part. There's still some amount of overlap, but I'm happy with it. Still do Torghast now, it's still fun. Yeah, Mob Souls was also a grind. It comes up a lot in those conversations. I did some Mob Souls, but I didn't do the crazy amount of it that I think a lot of people ended up doing in Legion. I also did not get my Legion legendaries in anything close to a timely manner, and it kind of ruined. Did it ruin the expansion? Is that hyperbole? It's kind of hyperbole, but like, I was a grumpy girl. Torghast should never have been mandatory. And I think what Dragonflight it's an expansion where things like that, like Sniff and Seeks, for example, I know those aren't really comparable to Torghast, but, you know, Sniff and Seeks and Dragon Races and, I'm trying to think of what else. I'm actually kind of drawing a blank. They're not mandatory. Like, they offer things, and you can do them and you can get the things, but if you don't need the things or if you don't want the things, it's not going to keep you from raid. They've done a good job of uncoupling mandatory power gains from content like that, and I am doing well with it, but different mindsets will have a harder time. Some people, if they don't feel like they need to do something, will never try it, and they're just not going to have as much to do.
You are just maggots swarming to the corpse of a dying god.
But yeah, I don't think we're going to know how well it went long term until Dragonflight's over and we see how they're going about designing the next expansion, because they have all the data. They know how much people are actually playing and how long they're actually subbing and how much they're spending on XYZ. And they know how, like, actually how much financial success is coming out of these choices that they're making. So, when we see what they decide to do next, we'll be able to figure out if you know, it's actually going well for them. Any streamers, content creators who inspired you early on to get in the field? I grew up, at least online, watching like Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox and Dodger and like the Co-optional podcast and all of the, like, this, they did some amount of WoW content, or at least Jesse and TB did, but they did and then there's like variety content and podcasts and stuff, and I loved that stuff when I was like a teenager and young 20s. That was definitely the thing that made me want to do it. My first video was a Let's Play of some description. I want to say Don't Starve. It was a product of its time. RIP TV. I remember being mesmerized by the Worgen Starting Zone videos. I have this distinct memory of watching like a Cataclysm beta video where the Worgen running wild form was just the Worgen form over top of like the humanoid form, and it was just this most monstrous mess of a thing, and it was so funny to me. Yeah, it is still up. It is still up. Watch at your own risk. I was a little bit high strung at the time. Not like now. I'm mellow as a cucumber now. Definitely not high energy in any way. Why does it hurt my feelings a tiny bit when you say that it's bad? I know that's, I mean, I guess bad is subjective. Why am I bummed out by that? It was 10 years ago. You'd think that I would accept that, well, yes. That's not a reflection of my overall journey. With all due respect, yeah. It was what it was. Interesting to see how much you've changed. It's kind of a unique situation where you have like these video records of maybe not like what your overall personality was at the time, because an on-screen personality is always going to be different and higher energy and higher output than just like what somebody's like. But it's interesting having, and I don't look at it as a general rule, but like these kind of video diaries of what my, you know, style and energy and personality was at like, you know, 19, 20, 21, 22. Because a lot of people will have like photos and memories of those times, but it's pretty unusual to have this amount of just like footage. And I don't look at any of it, but I wonder if one day I'm gonna have some amount of nostalgia, or like, you know, want to reflect on those records and be like, hey, look, I was young once. You just job to press buttons and not blow smoke up your backside. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. I am planning to make a guide for the Mega Dungeon. I'm getting increasingly unsure of exactly when that's going to happen. Because it comes out on like Tuesday. And I'm not doing it today and I'm not doing it tomorrow. Saturday, Sunday. I might have to work a day off. Well, Sunday I'm getting... Yeah, I'm going to try. It's going to get a little dicey. Oh, I took my earring out. At my funeral, I want people to watch my earliest Twitch VODs. Oh. Bad point to be okay.
Kindling of bone and shadow. Army of the dead, arise!
What would I want at my funeral? I mean, I guess I'd want whatever other people need because I don't care. I'm dead. You know, nobody wants it to be too grim. I don't think I need people to be sad. I'm gonna drop that one. And I'm gonna go get Flabby back. You have an Amnesia Let's Play? Oh dear, yeah. the things we did because they were popular at the time. From the team, like and subscribe. I think it would, well, I was gonna say, it would be neat if people planted, like, I don't know, a fruit tree or like a hydrangea bush somewhere in my memory. But then it's gonna be really depressing if the drought hits and it dies, because then it'll be like I'm dying all over again. People are sad at funerals, you need to let them be sad. That's true. That's probably fair. I want them to wear whatever they want. I don't want them to be in uncomfortable clothes unless that's important to them. Sweatpants and big t-shirts. Can I hand out, I guess I'm dead. Can somebody hand out on my behalf commemorative gigantic comfortable t-shirts that just I don't know, something that's not going to depress people too much. And then everybody can wear them and it'll be like a graduation party. Did I make it through? Yeah, I think I beat it. I think I finished the whole game. I was unhappy the entire time. It's a sign of my self-respect that I don't do that anymore. Ask them to plant a cactus with fish on them. Big fish. What kind of animal would I put on a merch shirt if I was going to sell one? I mean, squirrels are obvious, but I want something that, like, would be on one of my shirts. I do love a good fish shirt. I guess I could try and design my perfect fish shirt. What if not everybody wants to wear a big fish on their shirt? Cat, yeah. Put me! Played 10 minutes of it, was unhappy the entire time. My dad died, we all wore Hawaiian shirts and shorts. You should always be able to wear big shirts and sweatpants if you want, and I live by that. Fox is so in right now. Yeah. Because all the animals that I'm, like, associated with, like cats and... I don't know, what is it, just cats and fish? Squirrels? I've sold cats on shirts before. I want something with kind of an androgynous feel so that nobody feels particularly excluded from it. But then you'd think that all animals would be androgynous. You know, I've never understood what was particularly unmasculine about cats. I think that they're, I don't know, it's just weird, but it's like definitely a stereotype. There was some trailer that I saw once for like some show that was going to come out, and it was about men with cats. And there was a line in the trailer that was delivered with perfect sincerity where this guy was like, and I'm working towards the future where one day it'll be okay for a man to have a cat. And I'm sitting here thinking, was that not cool? Are we? I guess I don't know, I suppose. I'm not a man with a cat. I am unfamiliar with the discrimination that men with cats must face, but I feel like if you're a dude with a cat and someone gives you a hard time about your cat, you just like kind of give them a funny look and then complain about them to your cat. You know, like you're winning no matter what. Sourville, thank you for the 12-month resub. Happy 1 year. Appreciate it. You didn't know men couldn't have cats. It was news to me. It was news to me. Husband has cat stuff everywhere. Merch that looks like vintage shirts would be great. Yeah, I want something that I would want to wear, I think. And I've just been fond of wearing big white t-shirts that have, like, I don't know, animals on them. I'm a man with a cat, and the only one giving me a hard time is the cat. It's not allowed. Time to get rid of my 2 cats. Oh! They'll hear you. How you been? Haven't been here in a while. Hello, Zavengor. I'm good. I'm good. I am such a together adult today. I'm wearing denim. I have jeans on. I'm gonna have to lose them later. It's gonna get too hot out. Best for dude friends has cats. Yeah, I don't think that any pet. I mean, I'm sure there are like demographic correlations between like specific types of pets and specific demographics. I'm sure that there are trends, but like I don't think that any pet needs to be particular to any kind of you know, presentation or whatever. Isn't it bunnies? I think there's like a thing where I'm sure it's not everybody, but that the majority of rabbit people, particularly like show rabbits and rabbit competitions and stuff, are women. I think that's a thing. A lot of ladies with bunnies. BRB, getting rid of my cats. Never. I like cats and dogs, and I resent any implication that I should be made to choose. I love my kitty cat, and she is she is the light of my life. She is the sunshine in my morning. She is my baby girl, and she comes first. But I hope that we can find room in our home for a dog one day too. You might be wrong. Perhaps. I think it was... Where did that information come from? I think I was watching some kind of a documentary. Do you think it would be bad for the game if they allowed you to buy trading post tokens through the shop? Bad for the game is a really hard thing to quantify. I think it would be an initially unpopular move. I think I would get over it really fast because I could just like not do it. I am... I don't know. Laid back enough, I guess, about trading post stuff that I don't think that it would sink my ship or anything. But I also don't need them to do it because I have no desire to purchase such a thing. I would prefer if they didn't, but you know, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. Yeah, I think as cosmetic stuff, it's not really much worse health-wise for the game than like the cash shop stuff that we already have. It's just like it would be bad PR for sure because the trading post was pitched as something that was like, you know, not, it was, you know, extra bonuses for people that are playing and not here's some extra stuff for you to shop for. Here are some new and interesting and improved ways for you to spend money. I want the unconditional love of a dog but the self-maintenance of a cat. I feel like Miss Kira loves me unconditionally. Although I also feel that all love is to some degree conditional. I think that, and this might be a little deep and dark for 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning, but I guess I have this idea that purely unconditional love without any limits on it is probably a little bit toxic, and that we all have a duty to those that we love, both family and pets and friends and loved ones and whatever, to you know, to treat them with respect and with you know, safety and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that those things are, technically speaking, conditions, you know. Now there's, you know, conditions like there's conditions and there's conditions, but yeah, I guess Kitty wouldn't love me if I wasn't kind to her, but of course I'm going to be kind to her because she's my kitty cat. Ian said that there's no plans for them to sell trading post tokens. Did he say that? That's good. Funny, because I bet you anything they did have plans, and then they looked at the backlash and they were like, "Whoops, never mind." Try again later or never. I don't know. Abort, abort, abort. They're mad. We have some good PR for once in our lives. Do not make them angry. What's my level? We're 69. Here we go. Going in again. I did not pick a race for a Frost Mage yet. I've been kind of thinking of doing another Druid instead, because I want an alt that I want to set up for healing keys. That's not like my main. Like, I want an alt healer for keys, and I'm insane, so instead of using any of the perfectly good healers that I have at 70 already, my thinking is to start a brand new one. I make my friends and family sign a TOS. Mages can heal, just use food. I have an unspent talent point. I want... Yeah. I'm sure I'll just grab like a spec. This should be my last time walking dungeon to get my last mid 60 to 70. This should do it. And not even 11 a.m. Although, perhaps today I should wrap up before noon. Sometimes when I'm by cafes and coffee shops, I see people with laptops there that are just like working. What if that's who I need to be? What if I need to just like load up an editing project and like get all my stuff ahead of time, all my files and assets and whatever, and load it up onto a laptop, and then just like go get a latte and then be amongst the people. Maybe that's what I need to focus. See you guys, I'm going to the library. Nah, I know I can focus. I just need to practice, I guess. Couldn't work in a cafe, couldn't concentrate. I think if it was a quiet enough place and I had a quiet enough corner, if it was like a super busy, loud place. But I would also, I don't know. I like privacy. Considering that too. Screen of laptop's too small for me. It would work great for me until I need like a pickup shot, which tends to happen to me. I almost never get enough footage for a video ahead of time. I try, and every single time I'll be in the middle of editing and I'll be like, ooh, I want a shot of this. And when I'm at my desk, I just fire up WoW and OBS and I just grab it real quick. But if I would need to be much more prepared if I was going to do it on the road, which I have done before. In the past, when I was traveling to go, you know, like BlizzCon or whatever, I would have editing projects on the go and I would just package them and then take them on my laptop. And then I would work on them on the road. And I always said that I did my best work in airports because I have nothing better to do. Airports and then on airplanes because A, I have nothing better to do, and B, I feel like really important whenever I'm like working in an airport on a laptop. It's like I'm a person with a real job. And I know that technically I am, but sometimes it feels fancy if I'm pretending like I have something worth doing. Yeah, I do all my own editing. I did contract an editor for a couple of videos last year, and then I went back to doing it all myself. The editor did a great job. He did excellent work. I just admin of shipping projects between two people and then billing and stuff was just more than I was able to keep up with at the time. There is an airport in Victoria. It's true. It's like way up on the peninsula, though. It is a bit of a trip. It is not like a walk or anything like that. Yeah, maybe libraries. There are libraries. What if I could just go work by the beach? I guess if I don't need Wi-Fi, I could go work by the beach. There might be glare. Put some royalty-free gifts. Yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made for trying to find lower effort formats of content to make where you don't need, that are just faster to put together. You know, you just talk about a thing for 25 minutes and then you put like some dragon racing footage or something behind it and you call it a day. I'm not too good for that. It's just not something that I do. Get an umbrella.
Come on, swines, move like you
A parasol.
signed up for this.
Sometimes I do my work at the local library if I don't feel like going to my school library. Need space for my family. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I've done that too. I used to make study appointments with friends when I was in school. I had a much better time studying if I could convince somebody else who also needed to study. If it was the right person. The wrong person would be like, yeah, let's study. And then they just want to like hang out and goof around. And that's no good. But if you find somebody else that actually needs to do some work and you're like, all right, we're going to meet at this library and we're going to sit down for X amount of time and we're going to do some stuff. And then afterwards, we're going to like go hang out and play whatever. Then that I found worked very well because you would both be there. You couldn't, I don't know. I think it's what the kids call body doubling these days. Which really sounds like you're supernaturally replacing them, but not exactly. Yeah, body doubling is great, exactly. First job was at the Greater Victoria Public Library. Go to UVic, pretend to be a student. You know, I got rejected from UVic as a teenager. It was the first great rejection of my life, and I thought my whole life was over. I should really get over it, but I have some bad feelings just because I've never quite made my peace with that. My whole trajectory of my life could have been different if I had gotten in. And the worst part was they actually did accept me, but they did it late. Like I got rejected from the program. I didn't get in, and I made it into a different school instead, and I moved all the way up to Nanaimo. And then after I had moved and signed a lease and everything, they were like, "Oh, somebody dropped out. You can do this program." And it was too late. And you can't spend your whole life on what ifs, but holy moly, UVic is beautiful, but I don't go there. No, it's totally fine. You didn't know. Everybody I know basically either goes through there or has worked there or still works there, or you know, like it's a big feature here. People wanting to study but actually just hang out were the worst.
Let's take this down to your level.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. Oh, it's so tempting to just like live in the past and be like, well, what if this had been different? What if I had done this thing different? And what if I had gone here instead? And like, you know, it's so tempting, especially when you know like how things turned out, to be like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. And you just can't let yourself live in that space. It's not helpful. You know, you can try and learn from your mistakes, but you can't just. You got to just take your lumps and learn your lessons and appreciate what you got out of it and move on. Oh. Taking a somebody dropped out spot sounds sad. I mean, I feel like that's a bit of a take. How long did it take you to get recognition from the team at Blizzard? See. I started making WoW content in like 2013-ish, late 2013. And I think the first beta that I managed to get into, like get on the list for, that I didn't do, I think was Legion. Because I got into the WoD beta, but I got into the WoD beta on the back of like the Diablo promotion or something. The annual pass. So I think that when Legion beta was coming out, so this would have been like sort of 2016, 2017-ish. So 6 or 7 years into making... No, not 6 or 7 years, pardon me. 4 years. 3 or 4 years into making content. And I didn't necessarily get noticed. I found PR contacts, and I contacted them incessantly, pitching myself and being like, I would love to be on, you know, I am a content creator, I do this, here's some examples, here's some numbers, can I pretty please be on the list? Like, all I wanted to do was be on the press list so I could get into beta. And I managed to annoy the right person who passed it on to the right person who managed to get me in. And that was like a couple years in. Annual pass was mop beta? I'm pretty sure in the WoD alpha. And it wasn't on the back of PvP. Maybe it was in the WoD beta then. Maybe it was earlier than that. WoD when you got into Legion because you're higher rated PvP? Yeah! I got into the Legion beta early with the PvPer wave just because I had some arena rating from WoD. It was funny. How am I half a bar out? This is absurd. I have rested. It's fine. Thank you. I'm not doing another key. I'm gonna... Or not another time walking dungeon. We can finish this though. Big Fire, thank you for the 46-month resub. It's the last week of patch 10.1, and I finally got around to do Fire Wreck Assault because it was required for the weekly reputation quest. What did you think? I hated them when I first started doing them, but I came around to them quite a bit. I actually kind of enjoy that. Would you say it's easier to be a content creator today or back then? It's tough to say because I have no idea. I only know what it was like to get started when I got started. People have been saying it's oversaturated and it's too hard to break into, and I think that's probably true. But people were also saying that back then, and I think it was also true then. I think there will always be new people that manage to break into it, and there will always be a lot of people that try to break into it that can't, or that wash out of it for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I'm too isolated in my own experience. I don't know what it's like for other content creators. It's a little tougher now than it was like a couple years ago. There was definitely a boom where advertising budgets for various companies were just kind of like unchecked. So sponsorships were pretty free and they paid really well, and they were pretty loose and laid back about it. And you can still certainly get sponsored, but it's a lot of companies tightened budgets and did layoffs and stuff.
Hello. See you around.
Yeah, I don't know. Being a content creator is kind of whatever you make of it. Like it can be hard if you make it hard. If you want to be successful, I think that's always going to be a bit difficult, and it depends on your definition of success. BlizzCon virtual ticket goodies are new every year. Getting a virtual ticket will not get you any previous year goodies. It'll just get you the goodies that are for that year. Go Placidly, thank you very much for the 7-month resub. Frank Assaults are better now when they first launched. Did they change anything major about them, or did I just like understand them better? Because I remember the first time I showed up, and I think they were just like a little bit buggy as well. I think it just wasn't working very well. But it was just a mess. There was a boss, there were like it was just a million things to do, and it was really unclear what you got from any of them. A lot of places slashing marketing budget right now. Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be, I think it's a little bit tougher for like if you were a smaller creator that was just kind of squeaking by. I think that's probably harder. I don't know for sure though. I don't have the Panda Pet from the first collector's edition. I didn't start getting collector's editions until Cataclysm. Cata was my first collector's edition. They streamlined some of the quests that weren't syncing well with the overlapping world quests. Not sure. Lived in Missouri. Applied to university in Hawaii and got accepted. If only I hadn't worried about that, yeah. Who's to say what our lives would have been? Also, who's to say where our lives are going to go next? You know, just because you're in XYZ place today and doing XYZ thing doesn't mean that you won't be somewhere different next year or in 5 years or on, you know, Saturday. Life's not a set out track. It is what you make of it. This was my 14th level 70 character. Number 14. Dance for Hazley. Slash. Woo! It's also my last one that was in the mid-60s, so we're in good shape then. That's why thank you. That's the power of time. It's been a very contemplative stream. We used to do those almost constantly. I don't entirely know how people manage to stick around between me just like having not existential crises, but I do an awful lot. My journal is like this. No one will ever read my journal, but if you did, you would be extremely bored because it's an awful lot of me going, well, I can do better. I promise. I swear, I'm trying this thing. I've read this book. I'm going to use this technique. Things will be different. I swear. Oy. All right. I'm curious about whether or not this character can... I'm curious about whether she can just port to Valdrakken and skip the intro. Because I haven't done the campaign intro, and I'm wondering if I can just go. One of the only streamers that reads their chat out loud. It's awesome. Wow, and life lessons. I would be cautious to indicate that I could offer any life lessons. I'm not that old. I'm not super young, but I'm not that old. And my wisdom is very specific to my own set of experiences. I'm pretty sheltered overall. I haven't traveled. My hardships have been very self-contained. I've had my fair share of mental health struggles, but I haven't had a whole lot of like systemic societal struggles. What am I doing? I'm going to Valdrakken if I can. Have I gone the wrong way? Might have gone the wrong way. Release it with a fake name. It's free money. You already wrote it. I think releasing any book and expecting free money is probably going to bite you in the butt. That's Caverns of Time. Yeah. I know when I used to go out with friends, just wanted to talk about ideas and books, and they didn't mostly. I wonder when I'm going... Oh, there it is. I found it. I wonder when I'm going to get back into nonfiction books. I used to read almost exclusively nonfiction books. And I did enjoy them, but I feel like I was just looking for an answer that didn't exist, or I just realized I got to a point where I just knew, like, I understood it, right? Like, I got the material. If you read enough self-help books in particular... eventually they all just start referencing each other and they all start referencing the same studies, and you're like, well, I pretty much know what you're going to tell me. You are unlikely to have any new answers. And then you start getting into the more, you know, personal spiritual answers, which will work for some people, but will do absolutely nothing for other people. And then at that point, you kind of have to make your own journey. I'm not worried too much about spending my talent points. I'm just going to log out here. One day, I'm going to make a nice list or spreadsheet or something of all of these characters that I've gotten to 70 and what kind of gear they need. And then I'm going to log on to this hunter and look through her bags and send them all a mix of like primalist gear and, you know, like sunless and moonless and whatever. The green gear from Zeralik Caverns. But I think they can also get some decent gear just in 10.1.5. So I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, I've just been sending myself all of this stuff. Now to do another 5-time walking dungeons and all those 70s for the normal cash. Yeah, not so much, no. I had pets that I was trying to sell in this character that I just, like, can't be bothered to keep posting. I never log on to this character to post auctions. I guess I could send the pets to my main so that I at least chuck them up on the auction house. I've got an albino buzzard. I've got a microlycid. I've got an extra feasting larva. They're worth something. But Hazel doesn't just call us all chat. Hey chat, what should I get for lunch today? I'm sure that people must ask their chats other things than just what's for lunch, what's for dinner. Food. Self-help books can be iffy. Spirituality is the issue for me though. Yeah. And you can get self-help books that are more in the vein of like pop psychology and like personal, like research-based personal development, and you can get some that are independent of the spiritual aspect. But they all do reference the same studies, so after you've read enough of them, and I do feel like it was helpful to me to read them. I think that I have a better understanding of not exactly how my brain works, but a little bit how my brain works, because of the reading that I've done. But I don't think that any more reading is really going to benefit me. At a certain point, you're just chasing answers that don't exist. Star soup. Star soup. So tomorrow is Friday. We can do some Anthus leveling tomorrow. I should only do 2 hours tomorrow because, like I said, tomorrow's a very big day. I'm not making it right now, but if I was gonna make a troll druid healer, I was looking, like, the way that I used to customize them is I would go for, like, this, either the high tail or, like, the big crest. I would make it pink. Sometimes for druids I would do it green. That was a thing sometimes, but you gotta love the big pink. And then you've got a couple of different, the face paint and the body paint they get now is kind of cool. But if I didn't do any of that, I don't know. I've also got sand troll skin colors now too. Go with the sand troll look, it's nice. When was the last time you made a sweet potato sandwich? This week, actually, a couple days ago. I'm out of yams and onions. I need to get groceries. Mecha Goblin Shaman. I had not really thought of that. I do play WoW when I'm not streaming. I probably play too much. Would you say you're as excited now with 350k subs back when you had just 0 starting? It's a little bit of a different energy because when I had no subs, I would get like a sub on my YouTube channel and I would get an email about it. And I would wake up in the morning and I would read that email and I'd be like, yes! And now, I'm like bleeding subs a little bit. I'm losing. It's kind of number go down, which is not ideal. And you know, there's things that I can do to work on that. But it's a little bit more, you know the feeling when you're like deep into an RPG and you've kind of lost control of your talent build and it's, you know, you're doing more damage than you used to, but you also feel like you're having a hard time finding your stride, whereas when you're level 1, anything that you do feels like it's getting you big progress. It's a little bit of that situation. Eat a salad called... That's a weird name for a salad. It sounds pretty good. Sub lost more about gift subs. No, this is YouTube subs, so people unfollowing on YouTube. The gift subs from that event ran out a long time ago. Wolven, thank you for the 6-month resub. Appreciate it. Number go up. What are we making now? Looked away. I'm just brainstorming. I'm just thinking. I was thinking about a troll resto druid that I could use as like an alt for keep hugging. Was kind of what I was thinking about. I was just taking a look to see if I could find any options that I liked. For customizing a Zandalari troll kind of situation. Maybe not that one. There's something missing with her face, and it's eyebrows. She has no eyebrows! Why does she have no eyebrows? Do Zandalari trolls not have eyebrows? Hang on, do regular trolls have eyebrows? Oh my gosh, they don't. Did you guys know about this? Madam Rachel, thank you for the 5-month resub. Number go up. Oh, shucks. No. How has this never occurred to me before? I think it's just like with this face, it's like shadowed enough that you can kind of like, she's got a brow ridge and she's got like some shadow going on that it kind of looks a little bit like an eyebrow, a little. But then when you go over here, her forehead is so smooth that, and like the structure of her face is such that it's like extremely apparent. Maybe just a different, it's extremely apparent that she is lacking in the eyebrow department. Now you can't unsee it. It will be a dwarf. Breaking news, trolls don't have eyebrows. It's like when you first learned that gnomes don't have enough fingers. You're never going to see it the same way again. Fibbin Cack with a 4-month resub. Looks like you get my prime this month. Thank you very much. Thrall's the only orc with eyebrows. Glamour goals. What? Gnomes don't. Oh, you want to see some, you want to see something messed up? Where's my gnome? Here, let's log in. Let's go take a quick look. This is gonna, if you are a big fan of gnomes, this may be information you might find upsetting. Anonymous gifter, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I hope you're prepared to see some information that may be disturbing to you. Alrighty. There they are. They got a thumb, and then 1, 2, 3. Well. This was my main for a long time. See, it's not so bad. Maybe they just look funny if you have enough of them. Do not like. She, oddly enough, does have 5 toes. Also, apparently this transmog does not hide her toes. 5 toes, but only 3 fingers per hand. Elves don't actually have eyebrows either. They're imitating the Titan seed races. Do you think the eyebrows reaching wider than the face makes sense? Yeah. Trolls have toenails on their what? Draenei don't have 5 toes? I mean, Draenei have hooves. Anyway, I gotta go. I will be back tomorrow with some Anthus partially nude, not fully nude. Let's not get crazy. With some Anthus Holy Paladin leveling. He's level 26. Assuming that I don't crack and just decide to start the Restored Druid instead. We got a couple more days of leveling streams until we hit 10.15, and then we can do some 10.15 stuff, whatever that may be. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have not followed the YouTube VOD channel and you want to, I will drop a link in chat. I appreciate it very much. We're nearly at our goal. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.